Hello, all you gay bands, and welcome to. Oh, thank you. You are too kind. Welcome to another edition of the Gare Bear Review. Today, we're going over San Andreas, the new movie that just came out with The Rock. Now, this was an interesting one because the science here is obviously a little, a little wobbly. This isn't, we're gonna have to go back to seismology. Seismology? I don't even know anymore. It's 101, basically. Now, the thing is, I'm going to get a little smart on you peoples. A magnitude 9 earthquake, or a Mag 9, can only occur on subduction zones. Now, it's meaning places where tectonic plates collide, only to be pushing another and deforming the seafloor. Now, even now, it only would be possible to max out to an 8.3, and since it's mostly on land, it wouldn't end up producing a tsunami. So there's two facts alone that are already invalid to this movie. Yes, granted, this is somewhat make-believe, and this is a movie with actors in the script, but the destruction portrayed is completely over the top, and and it borderlines of the impossible, almost Fast 7, Die Hard impossible. The chasm we see, erupting, in Central California, that opens up. Even if it were to open up like that, there's no friction. So no friction, no earthquake. Again, doesn't have, it's invalid now. See, the science alone is proving that San Andreas cannot happen. So if you are worried, it cannot happen. Now, another one, the domino effect of the earthquakes that you see in the movie. If you watch it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. There are actually what pretty much is what they call a triggered earthquake instead of aftershocks. It's not what they're calling it something different. So now, because of, well, one triggers another, and in retrospect, this theory is actually plausible from what my research is telling me. Now, the thing is, even with the science thrown at you, just like I just did, and just looking at this just as a movie, this movie actually ends up only being good, a decent viewing. Despite the science being fairly wrong, it's still entertaining and it moves fairly well. Basically, one of my favorite parts was actually, as basically it kind of like sensed it boredom, where basically as soon as it felt like it was getting too boring with like too much dialogue or too much story, it tends to snap you right out of that trance and then hit you with another problem they have to face. Now, so if you really look at it, it ends up being quite predictable. I mean, disaster movie, so I don't know what you're expecting other than the predictable. But the thing is, I can honestly say I do like disaster films. I do. One of my favorites is The Day After Tomorrow with Jake Gyllenhaal. It's one of my favorites. The thing is, San Andreas was actually portrayed. It's short. It's like I think it's actually it's either exactly 2 hours or it's like an hour 50 or something like that. But it seemed to play a little bit longer than you figure. Now, I can also say, unfortunately, I saw this because of what Paul Giamatti says in the trailer. Because it's so utterly ridiculous. It's so big you can feel it on the East Coast. Like, what kind of a line is that? I get you want it to be an impact and you want it to be strong, but come on. It was just one throughout. I mean, it was a common theme throughout the movie. It was one convenient thing after another, one problem after another. Like, oh no, like she's there, I have to go. But the thing is, it followed one solid if it's one solid story. It had a point, it had a waypoint, and it followed. If you want to take the GTA aspect of that, it followed, like, the whole entire point was for him to go save his daughter from San Andreas to protect his family. Now, on his way there, he ends up saving his wife. He ends up saving a couple other people, dodging buildings, end up driving over a tsunami, and basically trying to bust open a building with a boat. So you guys do the math on how that's supposed to be followed. But coming back to this, it was one convenient thing. Like it ended up having like, oh look, there it is. Oh, I need a boat now. Oh, so there, look, there's a boat. It ended up being one convenient thing after another, and it was a problem. And with incredible insanity. But the other part was the cast. I know. You shouldn't see it for the cast, but I mean, who doesn't love the most electrifying man in all entertainment, The Rock? And then again, who else doesn't love the beautiful and talented Carla Gugino? I guess that's how you say it, Gugino. If you don't know her, you definitely know her face. She's been in Spin City, Sin City, Watchmen, Spy Kids, and you definitely know Ian Gruford. You know him from recently, actually newly canceled show Forever, and if you don't know him from that, then you definitely know him as Mr. Fantastic in the Fantastic Four movies, not the new one that's coming out, but the older ones, the two comic booky ones. And then you have my crush. I have a huge, serious crush on Alexandra Daddario, and you definitely know her. If you don't know her, get to, because she's a very talented actress, super talented, gorgeous. She's a triple threat in most theories. But like you might know her from True Detective, the first season. Also, she was Annabeth in Percy Jackson. Other than that, those are like her two big film things that she's done. Um, but like in the end, like they were only okay performances. It wasn't like, it wasn't their greatest, but also it wasn't their worst in my opinion. Honestly, you can skip this one. This movie, you really don't need to see it. Like I'm gonna go back to what I was been saying. It's just entertaining. It's actually ends up being laughable, like really laughable. It's supposed to be it's supposed to be a serious movie, sort of, because it's a disaster movie, but it ends up being really you end up laughing a lot, which you shouldn't be doing. We made fun of it. We basically riff tracked the whole entire movie. It was that bad. Um, it's just terrible dialogue. I mean, I know you're gonna end up seeing, like, don't waste your money on this, but I know my fans, I know you guys, you end up gonna seeing it anyway because of The Rock. But just remember this: it was, like I said, it's very entertaining, but laughable. Laughing at terrible dialogue and pretty much shitty CGI and the most ridiculous actions you could probably think of in a movie like that or in a situation like that. Um, the only thing they really got was the safety features on how to act during an earthquake. Instead of going into a door frame, I believe they said you should be hold on and go under a table of some sort, something that's sturdy, obviously. But honestly, wait for the DVD. It really isn't worth it. But what is worth it is seeing my channel of awesomeness. So make sure you guys like, subscribe to my channel. You can do that on the bottom below here. Also, if you guys don't know, I also have a shirt design that is up for voting to be printed on Cordy.com. It's called Beach World Tour. If you can't find it in the search bar at the site alone, I will put the description down below. You can do that. You can. I don't know where you can pick this up, but I love the artist. I'll try to find him again. I will put him in the description below. Just stay tuned for our next adventure because I actually don't know what it is. Yeah, I actually have no idea what we're going to be watching next time. It could be Jurassic World. Who knows by this point? So just make sure you guys stay tuned and find out for yourselves. It's gonna be a surprise. It's gonna be a surprise for you guys. It's gonna be a surprise for me. Stay tuned. Bye.